Hey folks, sorry for the delay in getting the stream up today. We're just kind of getting adjusted back to Bouts here at UNL. This is Greg Harries. I am the slam poetry coach at West Side, Central, and Ellsworth. But today I am here as your live stream host, so I'm going to be bringing you updates from the Bout, giving you scores in the chat room and over the air, giving you some insight into some of the strategic decisions that are being made. So, a little bit of the power of poetry, just little things I know, stuff like that, just trying to keep it poets. So I will be with you tonight. So yeah, I'll be your host tonight. Really, we're just going to try and stay out of the poetry for the most part. Tonight you're going to be hearing from 4 different schools in this Bout. The first, we don't have the order quite yet, but you'll be hearing from Council Bluffs Abe Lincoln, Millard South, City Impact, and Bellevue West. The 7:30 Bout lineup, that's going to be Lincoln East and Lincoln Southeast, and Omaha Northwest and Omaha North, which is an interesting combined combination. So yeah, so that'll be a good round too. That starts at 7:30, but this one's going to be kicking off probably in about 10 to 15 minutes. We're still looking for some judges, still pulling our audience together and getting ready for this great bout. To let you a little bit into what these teams are looking at, Council Bluffs Abe Lincoln has had a strong debut on Saturday. I'm going to get the schedule of the scores pulled up here. Council Bluffs Abe Lincoln had a strong debut on their Saturday bout. This is the first year we've had scores from Council Bluffs in France. They came in second, so we're actually third. They came in third about 9. So if they get a 1, they might be able to pull into the semifinals. Lincoln City Impact, they came into their first bout overall, their first bout ever in Lincoln. They got third place there. So you can see what they can go out to. Millard South came into their bout, their first bout, and they got first place. So they get a 1 or 2 today. First or second place, they're probably going to be good. They're going to be in the semifinals. Some of these other schools might be score very first. Bellevue West is another strong team. They're a finals team. Their first year out, they got a second place in their first bout against Touchenne Academy. So they're going to be looking to do well today. And 1 or 2, possibly a 2, but a 1 is definitely going to get them into semifinals. So there's a lot on the line. Millard South and Millard South and Bellevue West are both looking to automatically punch their tickets for semifinals. 1 or 2. Council Bluffs Abe Lincoln City Impact to get that 1 spot. So that's kind of the breakdown if you care about that stuff. Really, slam was invented, and we kind of just put this score thing on it just to keep it interesting and keep the poets kind of accountable to their audience, so to speak. When it's high school stuff, we just want to get out of the way and get their stories on the stage. So I'm going to flip it back to the front camera so you can see the stage that the poets will be on tonight. We scored on a scale from 1 to 10 by 5 judges. We're going to drop the low score and drop the high score to mitigate the possibility of there being any favoritism being played. The 3 middle scores we combined. We add those scores up continuously for each school. And those total scores are going to be what you're seeing in the live stream as we track this. But I'll be updating the chat room with live scores at the end of each poem and then 2 group scores at the end of each round. And yeah, it's going to be a blast. So again, my name is Greg. You can ask any questions you want in the chat. I'll be keeping up. Maybe not chatting too much during the moments themselves. I'm trying to catch you up on all the scores we're going to take and stuff like that. Your host tonight, Nicholas Bell, one of your hosts. But they're high energy. They're great people. And it's going to be a great night of poetry. So while you're waiting for things to start, you can point your browser to ltapomaha.org and ltapbreakthings.org if you'd like to donate to support the site.
There's 2 bout shoots on it.
So if you want to support this work, you can donate at ltapomaha.org and ltapbreakthings.org. support these great poets and support their coaches and put the time into these stories. They need to be shared. So yeah. Oh, actually, it's Andrew Edgen here with us tonight. So it looks like things are kicking off. So it's actually a different early start. So I'm going to shut up and let them take over. See you in a bit.
Great Plains, friends, family members, parents, teachers, coaches, countrymen and women, welcome. We are glad that you made it here today, and we are here to fill our faces and ears with poetry. I will be your host. My name is Nicholas Bell. I also have with me.
My name is Andrew Edgen. Welcome.
So, in case you didn't know, we're here for slam poetry, and in the 1980s, the Chicago poet and construction worker named So What?
Mark Smith!
In 2001, he invented this spiel is not very good written on here. So he created Poetry Slam, and it was at the Green Mill in Chicago, where an open mic had been ongoing for a while. It was pretty terrible. People were reading, I think, grocery lists instead of poems, and they were talking about things that are not necessarily poetic. So Mark Smith introduced the idea of scoring the poems, making a competitive event to fill the seats. And I would go ahead and guarantee that if this was an open mic, we would not have this many people here. So while it does sound like a stupid thing to assign numbers to poems, it also gets the butts in the chairs. So thank you for being here and being one of those butts. Then in 2001, Louder Than a Bomb started in Chicago. That was created by Kevin Cole and Ada West. Okay. And now, Louder Than a Bomb has since spread to several other cities. I believe it is in Ann Arbor, Tulsa. Greensboro did it last year. Boston did it. DC's done it. And we have, London, Kansas City. So as you can see, it is catching fire. And we are currently the second biggest behind Chicago. So clap for us for that. We now have 32 teams from across Nebraska and Iowa. Let's change the name from Louder Than a Bomb Omaha to Louder Than a Bomb Great Plains.
Here's what's going to happen. So we have 4 teams today. We have Bellevue West, Millard South, Council Bluffs Abe Lincoln, and City Impact. That's pretty exciting. These teams are made with 4 time poets. So what's going to happen is over the course of this competition, each team is going to share with you 5 poems. First 4 poems are probably going to be individual-ish, just to say 3 or 4 are going to be individuals. Might have to be a group piece more than 2 or more people in there. So poets are going to come up. You guys are going to clap like crazy. All the poets coming out. Writing. In less than 3 minutes, they go past 3 minutes and 10 seconds, we start knocking points. We're going to do this without props, costumes, musical accompaniment, animals, fireworks, or any sort of assistance from anyone who is not one of the competing poets. Okay? So then we have 5 wonderful judges. Judges, where are you? If you'd raise your scorecard. 3, 4, 5. Excellent. Okay. So you're going to hear a poem. And then you're going to be like, oh, that poem was amazing. And then the judges are going to give this a number between 0 and 10. 0 means, oh my gosh, I wish I could go back in time and suggest to this poet that maybe they try something like judo instead of poetry. So this way when they hurt people, it's on purpose. Whereas a 10 would be like, I want to go back in time, listen to this poem, and then when it's done, go back in time and listen to this poem again and again. It's sort of an infinite loop of amazing, right? So that's where we are. And then, so this means that the judges have all the power, right? No! Okay, just a second think about that. That's okay. So, audience, your job is to sway the judges. Like when you hear a poem you think, yes, that deserves a really good hour, what will you do? Those are good first try. They'll be better, I promise. And then, when one of these judges gives it like a 4.3, course, like we can't have the show without the judges, which means you have to be at least mostly nice. You know, things like threats will not be tolerated. Things like insulting the judges, others also don't do it. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty good. In the interest, though, of creating the safest, most inclusive space possible, I mean, certainly no threats, but also we ask that both refrain from gratuitous violence, like gratuitously violent language, from sexually explicit language, from pornographic language, and from racial, ethnic, homophobic, ableist, classist, gender-biased, or gingivitis slurs. Also profanity, because the thing that we ask our brothers to refrain from. Our Bout manager, Mr. Matt Mason. Everyone waves Matt Mason. Nicholas and I are going to keep the show going. The poets are going to actually give you the show. Greg, right here, is going to have the live stream. We're on the internet. Everyone waves the internet. Hello, everyone. We're so glad that you're here with us. Greg, how many people are on the internet right now?
5.
Oh, that's great.
So spread it around.
Yeah. Okay, so if you know someone who maybe should be here, but is not because they've chosen to make bad life decisions, or because like circumstances or whatever, consider texting to them right now the address www.youtube.com/LTABOmaha. www.youtube.com/LTABOMAHA. You heard it that time. Yeah, you heard it that time. No. And then these people can watch on the internet. And as soon as you're done with that, you turn your phones off. Like if we start hearing Miley Cyrus's like wrecking ball, whatever, like in the middle of someone's phone, what's going to happen is we'll have to have a talk with your mother. All right, cool. We good? We're ready to slam. We're ready to get the sticks ready. On the stage. So, what's going to happen? We'll have a hearing poet. This poet is not competing in this particular bout, but they're going to come up, and the judges are going to score this poet as though this poem were like part of the competition. This way, the judges have a chance to try it out, and you guys have a chance to practice your clapping. So, as soon as I announce the name of this poet, you're going to clap this poet all the way to the stage. Like, all the way to the stage.
All the way. Always, every time.
We're going to give us, like, the poets are going to give you so much, and so we're going to give it right back. We're going to, like, load them up with love.
Just remember, the more energy you give to the poets, the more energy they can give back to you, so be a respectful and more importantly, very loud audience.
So start clapping now, and keep clapping as we welcome to the stage our hearing poet from Ralston High School, Emily Manhunt.
You walked out on us, but then you walked straight back in with your how dare eyes. No, how dare you, pretending like it was easy to walk out on your 9-year-old daughter, leaving her to know that life had been too tough. She didn't care that much. Blinded to reality, she ran to your side anytime you called, leaving again and again, being loyal forever. But in the back of her mind, she always knew that the pills and the meth were never enough for you, for no fix would ever fix you. Throughout those endless nights you spent with them, you must have forgotten that not only did you leave her, you left me, your 3-year-old daughter who could barely remember your voice, your face, the love that you had once shown, only leaving a bitter taste in my mouth every time I think of you, despising you for your every decision you ever made. For you did not care, and your actions showed that. For the pills and the meth were worth everything to you. No, well, you knew that a quick fix would only fix the pain in your heart for a split second, making it feel like an eternity. For the one who should have had the loudest voice in all of this was your 1-year-old daughter, who you left waiting for the love and the kindness of a mother to appear. But she found no mother when you showed around. You were nothing but a stranger in her eyes. She made excuse after excuse to love you, but all hope she had for you vanished when you couldn't even remember her name. You were selfish and deeply in love, not with yourself, not with your family, but the pills and the meth that became more than your being, more than your family, more than your own self, risking everything even if it meant dying alone in an alley. I hated you for all you left us to sort through, for forgetting us, but I've come to this. Your choice was set in stone. I have a chance to never choose the easy way out of reality, to be different, to never follow in your shadow. For you are nothing but a poison in our lives, but that poison gave me strength. And I thank you, for I have risen above your influence.
Current from Western High School. Just a basis very small effective writing.
One slight change, the culture of art has had Great Plains, so entertain me if you will. This is a thing that I saw on the East Coast. Sometimes you'll see, as you just saw, that a poet might forget their words. They don't know where to go next, and so the thing we keep doing is snapping. But that's also something that we do to let the poet know that we're feeling them, that we like it. And so to change the meaning of that, my thought is rubbing the hands together. This is the thing I saw in North Carolina, and that way it creates warmth and it lifts the poet's spirits, and it's something different instead of the snapping, because I've had several poets tell me that when the snapping starts, you're like, oh my gosh, no, stop, I don't want that. So, if you like that idea, you can applaud or maybe do it tonight at some point. Judges, okay, you've had way too much time. Put your scores up. Keep them up high, from low to high. We have a 7.0. How do you feel? We have an 8.1. 8.2. 8.3.
Getting better.
9.1. Bellevue West.
So opening the Bout with 3 scores is Bellevue West.
My name is Haley, and I'm a senior from Bellevue West.
I don't see nothing wrong.
For Angelo Mendoza Jr., 4-year-old child from Bakersfield, California, famous for saying, "My daddy ate my eyes out." Son, I love you. Daddy was just off his medication. I had magma 150 kilometers deep, ready to burst. Sulfur dioxide had me thinking anything but straight. There was an explosion in my mind. And I couldn't keep it to myself. Cecilia was at an all-time high. You were in my 20-mile radius. Child abuse, a composite volcano, 2-millimeter rocks bit you at 2,300,000 miles per second. My lava oozed onto your eyes. Oh, pain. They should have taken you away when they found PCP in your crib 3 years prior. But my passion burned brighter than they thought my rage, my ash, my disorder could. Pyroclastic flows to shore your love for me. Yet when you think of what we once had, I still cause a stunning sunset in your mind. I hope your $2,400 of my license at a mental institution is enough to make up for your missing left eye. I just couldn't let you see me chop off my legs with an axe and a ceramic plate I used to feed you with. Look into the sun and pray with me. Self-inflicted lateral blasts could knock down entire forests. They found you naked, bloody, unconscious, next to underwear soaked in urine. When did the shaking stop? Hydrogen sulfide, methane, and carbon monoxide rain my apologies on your skin like no doctor's hands could. The volcanologist can measure my next explosion, press winded my volcanic gases around the world. I was famous for devouring you, my son, my love. I changed landscapes with my eruption, built new ground low enough for child abusers to walk on. I'm sorry. I contaminated your tears with my impulsive outbursts. I hope your water supply filters out my traumatizing tub flow faster than the ophthalmologist thinks you can. Please, don't be afraid to cry. Because the more tears that stream from your eye, the faster you'll plant rich, fertile soil to grow. Son, I love you. Daddy was just off his medication.
We're going to just a second this time. We're going to have less time as things go on. Numbers, please, in 3, 2, 1, scores. From low to high, we have an 8.8, 9.0, 9.0, 9.2, and 9.2. How do you feel about that? Then let us clap and keep clapping. We welcome to the stage our next reader from Millard South High School.
Hi, my name is London Adams, and I'm a sophomore at Millard South. My poem is called Drawing the Line. 1. He's wearing a gray long-sleeved shirt with a black tie. His cough screams smoker, and his smell, a man who swallows his sorrow in bottles. The stench of his breath lingers as he speaks. You'll never be smart enough for my class. His words echo, shattering every piece of me that I respect. His eyes never meet mine, but the strained veins in his neck reach out and strangle me, refusing to release their grip. A room filled with 23 people, and I've never felt more alone. But once I get home, it'll be just me and my blade. 2. Long sleeves, sweatshirts, bracelets, sweatpants, comfy clothes, all to cover up my skin. I can no longer look in the mirror and see myself. All I see is a familiar body, but it's tally-marked with scars, each one reminding me of the reasons why I'll never be good enough. I cringe at the thought of anyone else seeing them. I'm afraid of all the questions and the judgments. 3. 2 months in a place where I couldn't even wear my own shoes. I saw the faces of girls who lost themselves in the mirror, their wrists crisscrossed with kisses from men whose faces are stuck to their hands. I refuse to look in the mirror. I'm afraid that if I do, I'll see them, a girl, bandaged with open wounds. 4. I'm sitting on my bathroom floor like ice on my skin, clenching my fist, trembling. I dig into my flesh, slashing my oversized thighs, flinching at the pain metastasizing in my body. I can't erase the words. You'll never be smart enough for my class. Maybe if I just push a little harder, perhaps I'll feel smarter, maybe good enough. I keep pressing the blade deeper until I can no longer feel. My thighs and my wrists splattered with shame, blood trickling down, the contents of my self-esteem pouring out of my wounds. 5. I don't blame him. All of this anger built up inside, and I feel compelled to punish myself for giving him the authority to manipulate me. I blame myself. But to be honest, I'm just worried about my body. I've sculpted my skin to the point where my self-destruction will forever be etched into my flesh. My wrists will always read broken girl, and my thighs 326 days of consuming Zoloft and lamotrigine. Where do I draw the line? Is it when my canvas is completely full, or is it when I realize that my body doesn't deserve what I've done to it?
From low to high, we have an 8.7. Another 8.7. 8.8. 9.1. And a 9.3. Abe Lincoln.
Okay.
Here's Abe Lincoln.
My name is Abe Viola, and I'm a freshman in Abraham High School.
And 7 years ago.
Okay. And my poem is called She's Still Her. She's in her chair with her head held high. She's been through thick and lost and found, and thick and thin and lost and found, and she's still her. We look at her because she's a strong woman with passion and a vision to be a better person every day, and she is still her. She takes care of her children with love because she never looks back and asks if I could have done something better. She goes to work with a plan, and like clockwork, she talks to people. She does her paperwork, and never the outside world knows that every night when she gets home, her children's already in bed. She kisses them goodnight, but they're already fast asleep. Every day the pattern continues, each night, and she's still her. Her hair's been falling out for some but it grows back because this monster called cancer is away. She can't take her children to the park because she's too weak to go down the stairs, and she's still her. Today's her birthday. Here's a new person with a soul, and she's cancer-free. She's cancer-free. As her long hair falls down her back, her children sings her happy birthday because she is no longer late for bedtime. She goes to work with a plan because now she's the boss, and she will always forever be still her.
That is Council Bluffs Abe Lincoln leaving the mic. Again, another brand new school for us this year. Brand new for the state of Iowa, even, to have a school from Council Bluffs and from Iowa generally. So happy to have them. See how the scores come back.
We have an 8.0, 8.3, 8.3, 8.4, and an 8.6. But how do you feel about Paul? Yeah, you do. And then let us applause and keep the applause going as we warm up the stage for our first reader from City Impact.
Okay, so that is a 25 even for Council Bluffs with an 8.3, 8.3, and 8.4 kept. Now let's see how City Impact follows up.
Hi, my name's Faith, and I'm from City Impact. And my poem is called Mean Girls. You come home from school after a long, hard day, but then your parents are fighting, yelling away, screaming about money, taxes, and the government, but they didn't even seem to care how your day was spent. So the next day at school, you picked on others for attention, but like always, you ended up in detention. You didn't want this attention to stop, so you took out every girl just to get to the top. And your power now realized, and you could see the fear in your classmates' eyes. Your parents saw you weren't so perfect, and suddenly you felt so worthless. But this is what it took to get them to see. Finally, they heard, pay attention to me. So they switched you to another school, thinking this time you wouldn't break the rules. But just like that, their attention was gone. So you picked on anybody you laid eyes on. This is what your life became. Suddenly, everything was just a cruel game. It's better to be feared than loved, right? Wrong. How had this gone on for so long? So you needed to be wanted out of love or out of hate. Anything to prove your existence. But your parents didn't seem to take the bait. They didn't seem to care, and your life became so unfair. And now you think love is something that you don't deserve. But you just need to be heard.
All right, that was Lincoln City Impact. End rhyming poem. That's nice to see sometimes. And we'll see how the judges react to it. A little bit more traditionally poetic form of poetry, I guess. Here's Nick with the scores.
3, 2, 1. Hold them high, please. All right, from low to high, we have an 8.5. How do you feel about that crowd? One guy doesn't like it. We have another 8.5. We have an, Carol, is that a 7? 8.7, an 8.8, and a 9.1. All right, we have made it through round 1. Keep your hands clapping, and welcome to the stage the next poet from Millard South.
So that is a 26 even for City Impact, and that's going to put them in third place.
Millard South.
Millard South to open round 2.
Girl. The day I dropped into this universe, the only things I registered were fluorescent bright, cold gloves. The sounds spilling into my uncultured brain would never be as beautiful as my mother's heartbeats. I was cupped in God's hands. His words would haunt me long past when I became doubtful that he was any more than an illusion. It's a girl. As if the status of my conscious existence was in deliberation until the moment I could go from being naked to swaddled in my first label. Despite an open-minded mother, bathrooms adorned with no trespassing signs made me a lawbreaker. There may as well have been crime scene tape over Legos and boxer briefs. I could see it outlined in the gray-blue streaks of my biggest supporter's eyes, read, "Don't fight me for those boys' jeans. God promised us you would always shop in the girls' section." Portraits of her disappointment reflect off nail polish stained linoleum as I wait for steam to cloud a mint toothpaste mirror. I twist searing metal past hot, brace myself to be suffocated in uncontrollable panic. Don't shake or this razor will cut you. Legs scream feminine no matter how baggy my jeans are. At the grocery store I can see them add my curves to my total misgendered, but I don't know what the correct pronoun is. There is no correct pronoun. The only things I see in the mirror are too big of hips and too big of curves. My hands are too small. A binder can't make my chest the right shape. I am too soft for androgyny. Anxiety is eating at me. Stop eating, stop eating, stop eating, stop eating, stop eating. Scrubbing at my skin can't make it stop itching. Why is the water never hot enough? Why does it still burn like acid? Why haven't I grown a new skin yet? Why haven't I grown a new skin yet? The steam streams along my outline, makes it hard to breathe. Seams crisscrossing flesh from too much ace. Wrap my arms over my chest. Feel notches where my ribs shifted, making room for my heart to split. Sick like the days I stayed home because I couldn't pull it together. Feet together, hands at your sides. Conditioner sits for 5 minutes. Breathe. Wrap 2 towels to cover unchanged shame. Repeat tomorrow. I know there are ways to defy the shape I'm encased in, but hormones and surgeries would only serve to switch the sexes of my anxieties, so I will remain a pendulum pulled only by the gravity of my day-to-day shifts in self-destruction. To my body, I will try my best to appreciate you, but on days when I fail, I'll paint bruises like blush at my embarrassments. Maybe someday you'll scream, cave in to this echo of abuse. These ribbed walls may crack and fall. I can hear the fractures.
All right, that is Millard South with a very powerful piece. Great mix. Just a really great mix of rhythm and energy and content intensity as well. So I think the scores are going to reflect that. If they don't, I'll be mad. 9.1.
9.4, 9.5, 9.6, and a 9.8. How do you feel about the poll? Great. Let's keep that applause going. To welcome to the stage our next reader from Council Bluffs Abe Lincoln.
So that is a 28.5 for Millard South to open round two. Very strong score. And we'll see if the judges stay high or if they come back down to earth after that.
I remembered. Hi, I'm Chanel Zarati. I'm a senior at Abraham Lincoln High School. 4 and 7 years ago. And the poem I'll be performing for you guys today is We Die the Same. When I die, burn me. When I die, scatter my ashes like you do your cigarettes. I don't want to roam this earth like I do now. When I die, drop me at the bottom of the ocean. When I die, let me sink. I'm already drowning. Let the water fill my lungs like the smoke does to yours. When I die, let it be by my own hands. When I die, don't mourn me, because that's what you do every time you light a smoke. When I die, bury me in a graveyard. When I die, make sure my grave is next to yours. We're both killing ourselves with the little things we do. I pull up my sleeve and I pull out a blade. You pull out a light and a smoke. We breathe in, taking in breaths. We heave out that same breath, dropping a lighter and a blade. You have a sigh of relief, while I have a sigh of grief. Before I die, make sure I sign up to donate my organs. When I die, make sure every piece of me is used, but save my lungs for yourself because you need them more than I do. Before I die, hold me. Before I die, Mommy, love me, because you're the only one who ever did and ever would. When we die, bury us in the graveyard, side by side, because even in death, your motherly love and guidance carries me wherever I go.
All right, that is Council Bluffs Thomas Jefferson following up after Millard South. Poem on self-harm and on nicotine abuse.
Thing is pretty fun. Where can I find out more stuff?
There's Nicholas to get the scores.
There is a battle slam at the Shelter Belt this Saturday at 7 p.m. That's April 5th, and that's at the Shelter Belt on 33rd in California. Judges, let's see your scores. Put them up. Keep them high, please. From low to high, we have an 8.6, another 8.6, 8.8, 8.9, and a 9. Applaud the poet, not the score. And keep the applause going for your next poet, who's from City Impact.
All right, so that is a 27.3 for Council Bluffs Thomas Jefferson, Abe Lincoln, sorry. Here's City Impact.
Hi, I'm Akeem, and I'm representing City Impact. And this piece is called The Garden of Eden. The other day, I was in a garden, thinking of our past, how it happened so fast. The Garden of Eden, where there was peace, man not annoyed by the sound of geese. Then I thought, why did Eve eat the fruit? Why did Adam follow? Were their hearts shallow, or were they hollow? It was their decision that impacted our lives like a car collision. The truth turns into lies, laughter turns into cries, love slowly dies. No happiness gained, just heartbroken pain. But what about that sneaky snake? That really wasn't awake. He was possessed. So he shouldn't be addressed as a bad guy who tried to influence, who tried to lie, and succeeded, though for minutes of our lives we are possessed. Lying, stealing, killing with knives. We hate, dreaming of the end. Our fate. We beat sin to the chase. Washing, scrubbing, trying to erase the pain, driving the world so despicably insane. We hold in our guilt, bringing down the temple God built. But we can overcome the dark, blurring past our demons and lighting the world with our spark, spreading joy to the world like children at a park. The other day, I was in a garden.
All right, so that is City Impact. City Impact comes to us from a Lincoln church organization. They actually came to us late in the tournament and said, we've got a team, we're ready to go. We didn't even dispatch a coach to them, so it's been fun to see their perspective and the angle that they bring to things. So let's see how the scores come back.
We have an 8.4, 8.6, 8.6, 8.8, and an 8.9. But how do we feel about the poll? Let's keep that applause going as we welcome up to the stage our next leader from Bellevue West High
School. That's a 26.4 for City Impact.
Hi, I'm Ray, and I'm a sophomore from Bellevue West.
I don't see nothing wrong.
You want to take up the least amount of space. Just float away like a balloon they never wanted because it was purple and they preferred pink. So skipping one meal turns into never finding the time to eat because all you have the energy for is fearing the scale. You tap your foot to the beat of your heart in math class, adding up the calories in your brain, subtracting the lies coming from your mouth, multiplying the emptiness in your chest. And you tell yourself it's just a diet, but you were never good at long division. You could be a certified genius, the way you get away with it, the way you've hid the monster beneath bundles of clothes. So you try to burn them with your light, but the bulb is dimming and you're wondering how many of you it's going to take to fix it. In the end, it only takes one, but you were never good at being alive. You think your brain's wired weird. At birthday parties, you wanted pink balloons and all the other boys wanted blue. At the age of 10, you'd rather play make-believe with the girls, pretending you're one of them. And for all of recess, you are, but then the bell rings and all you are is the boy who doesn't play kickball. At the age of 16, all your friends have dates to homecoming, so you ask a girl who sits behind you in physics, but her gravity just didn't have the pull you were looking for. You tried kissing, but that was just another failed experiment. You like to say there's chemistry, but she burns like battery acid. She sees right through the anatomy of your body, can see past the way you hold your wrist. She knows you spend your time hiding in closets with the captain of the soccer team. When word gets out, you perform an experiment. You hypothesize you can fly, and you try to off that bridge near your mom's house. The problem is, you never got your conclusion. You can feel the need burning in your veins. You'd rather get higher than electric green balloons than face the consequences of your recent decisions. The thing about heroin is it makes sleep a possibility. Your fingers are balloons. They tie a noose around your throat and drag you higher than your savior. The only class you went to during school was world history, where they tried to make you understand that you needed to learn about the Romans and the French Revolution so that history does not repeat itself. But you know about cycles that you have been in since you were 13. The road to repetition, the road to recovery always goes back to the past. Repetition can be seen in your mantra to survive. You've been sober twice, but it's only lasted a week. The tremors have never stopped. You have nightmares of bloody wars that you recognize from your 5th period class. But unlike the Haiti slaves, you are not free from the revolts in your body. You are not a soldier, even though your mind tries to tell you that you are. You've been issued a gun like all the other 19-year-olds preparing for war. Their enemy is extremists. Your enemy is yourself. You've been ordered to shoot.
All right, that is Bellevue West to close round 2. Interesting poem, lots of repeated imagery. You can hear Nicholas Bell's institutionalized hand rubbing when a poet drops their poem. That's nice to hear. I like the sound of it. I like it more than
Let's see them
snapping.
all, please. Thank you.
Make it universal.
From low to
Here's the
high,
scores.
we have an 8.8, an 8.9, another 8.9, another 8.9, and a 9.1.
All right. 26.7 for Bellevue West to close round 2.
In the third round from Abe Lincoln.
So Abe Lincoln is up now to open round 3. I'll have the unofficial cumulative scores in the chat momentarily.
Hi. My name's Patricia, and I'm from Abraham Lincoln High School. And my poem is called My Friend. My friend, she has this pain, a sprain in her heart, like a chasm which is tearing her apart. There's a demon of her image with bones sticking out at odd angles, skin scarred, marred, and sewn up with tough love tar. Skin screeching echoes of imperfection, self-rejection, her point of inflection, but it's a mirror smeared with cold sweat fear of hugging razor blades and kissing pills. Tears of regret and self-bereft have fallen, carving trenches down her cheeks, while at the corners of the demon's eyes are wrinkles of hunger and humor. It's not fair, and it's not her fault that she cannot repair what is falling apart. I've seen thin strands of joy, gold like morning sun, streaking through the silver mirror, broadcasting her depression. If I could give her one suggestion, it'd be to see the beauty and the girl, not the demon and its grin. Don't let its happiness leave smiles on your skin drawn in perils of blood. You're so much more than a reflection. You're not a rejection, a regret, a flaw, an imperfection. You are my friend.
That is Council Bluffs to open round 3. Council Bluffs Abe Lincoln, I should say, specifically, to open round 3. Nice strong writing there. A lot of snaps from the crowd. Let's see how the judges felt.
From low to high, we have an 8.4, 8.6, 8.9. I'm sorry, we're going to back up, we're going to back up, we're going to back up. We're going to start over. From low to high, we have an 8.4, 8.6, 8.6, 8.9, and an 8.9. Let's give a round of applause to the poets. And then let us bring up to the stage our next reader from City Impact.
It's a 26.3. Bellevue West. I mean, Council Bluffs.
It's called Thug Life. I got my piece in my hand. I'm a delivery man. Try and stop me? Shoot. I'll shoot my words to your heart. Seriously, tear you apart. Because I'm a thug. It's my life. I don't care if you agree with it. For all I care, you can just deal with it. Might sound rude, but it's knowledge, dude. Come meet my homie. He ain't no phony. His name is Jesus. And he hopped on that cross to clean us. Jesus. Now he ain't no maid, but he can't clean up your life. He gave up his to pay your price. Be like him? Wish I could. I can't even stand up for the brothers in my own neighborhood. Jesus. He's the original thug. T-H-U-G. True hero under God. Who has his radical take on life. Living in freedom every day. Thug life. True hero under God. Living in freedom every day. I didn't mean to scare you. He changed my peace to peace. Here's a package. It's addressed to you. Open it or not, that's up to you. See, the cross is salvation. Forget initiation. Pay the price for our sin-filled generation. No matter your denomination or congregation, we're free from condemnation. Just read Revelation. No exaggeration, no limitation. I'm here to tell the nation. In summation, here's your basic instructions before leaving Earth. B-I-B-L-E. Bible. Let's start fresh. Call it new birth.
That is Lincoln City Impact. Another poem coming from that unique perspective that they bring to our competition. Let's see how the scores come back.
To have great poets, you must first have great audiences. So thank you for being one of those audiences. Clap for yourselves. And judges, please put your scores up in 3, 2, 1. Hold them high. From low to high, we have an 8.7, an 8.8, 8.9, a 9.1, and a 9.2. Applaud the poet, not the scores. And keep the applause going for your next poet of the evening, a poet from Bellevue West.
All right, so that's a 26.8 for Lincoln City Impact. And Bellevue West is up now to try and close the gap between first and second.
My name is Lizzie Hines, and I'm a senior from Bellevue West.
I don't see nothing wrong.
Maybe it's Maybelline, or maybe I'm just crazy, but I know you're important. If you are broken or cracking right now, do not forget what you're worth. If I have to, I will buy all of L'Oreal's products and stack them along your bedroom walls. I will coat the town with them because you're worth it. I read somewhere that if you walk down the middle of a hallway, you're more likely to forget where you're going. If you're on the wrong path and can't turn around, make to the middle. Got milk? No. But I've got 2 legs, so I'll meet you there. Unless what you need right now is to get lost and find. Have it your way. I just hope you're in good hands. Are you in good hands? I'm not Allstate. But I have 2, so take 1 or take 2 or everything. Because like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Hopefully with another me, because I'm all I can offer, and it's not much. Luckily, it's others too. You're not a pair of Levi's, but your parents gave the world proof that quality never goes as style. God himself probably told them to drop it like it's hot, and they delivered. He didn't have to go to Jared's to find something of value. It wasn't in the power of Pine Sol, but genetics. Tricks are for kids, but you were dipped in gold and match made with someone worth it. Someone is waiting to name you Disneyland. Make being with you the happiest place on earth, like Calvin Klein to show you. Between love and madness lies obsession. Someone is waiting to become obsessed with you, to remind you you're crafted like Ford, built tough like FedEx to be there when there is no tomorrow. I don't know what he or she would do for a Klondike bar, but the possibilities of what they would do for you are endless. I'm guessing whatever the quicker picker-upper is, it will be priceless. Your name will melt in their mouth, not their hands, and you can only go higher from here. Just take a Red Bull. You might need wings to float your way back down. If you're broken or cracking right now, then fine, just do it. Break, crack, crumble, do whatever you have to do right now. There's a Japanese concept to repair with gold. Typically, to repair pottery with a gold or silver lacquer, it's a silent acknowledgement that the piece is more beautiful for having been broken. No puns or advertisements this time, just you, and you can only become more golden when you realize this. You'll be loving it.
All right, that is our poet from Bellevue West on the mic, looking to close that gap between second. Crowd is really into it.
What did you think of that?
You hear that applause coming in, so
value and put it high in the air for us
let's hear how the judges feel about it too.
From low to high, we have a 9.0. Not very much of a reaction. A 9.2, 9.5, a 9.5. And a 9.5. audience. You've been great so far. Let's make sure that we're clapping for the poets all the way to the stage, keeping it nice and warm and friendly, and welcoming to the stage your next poet from Millard South.
All right, so that is a 27.9 for Bellevue West. Really strong score for them. And let's see how Millard South answers.
Hi everyone, I'm Sierra Huntsinger and I'm a senior at Millard South. And my piece I will be reading is called Almost Love. We argue all the time. There is so many holes in his stained white walls, I have lost track of which fight is which. It is a shame what he has done to me. It is all his fault for not being smart enough to understand that my moody, heavy heart needs space. He asks me, "What's wrong, Sierra? What did I do?" As if he thinks he's the reason why I'm mad, and when my name comes out of his mouth, I decide it is his fault. It is his fault why my anger has electrified my cold, brutal shoulder. He is my target, and I will make him feel like a nobody for no reason because I'd rather him feel like a nobody than me. Bad enough I am a nobody at school. At home my footsteps are soft droplets of brief hellos, and into the room it is where I sit and smother myself in fears of always being this way. Guilt of treating him the way I do aches my ill-incandescent mind and brings my heart to a boil, melting it into the brittle bones of my ribcage. But no, show no weakness or remorse. I will show him who is boss, just like Mom taught me. Reel him in, give him his utmost desire, then force him away to the other side so he can sit and try to figure out what he did. And it's every day, every day, every day, every little thing he does bothers me, though it really doesn't. I just want to have control. I want to be in charge. I want to blame everything on him because I am sick of everything being blamed on me. And for a while, I'm getting my way. He loves me when I want him to. He yells at me when I want him to. He says, "Sorry, I love you, it's all my fault. I'm such a bad boyfriend" when I want him to. So much control, and it feels so good to know that I can make a person so weak so that I can feel strong, strong like the glow of the fluorescent sun in all its entirety. I have him where I want him, his thoughts wrapped around my pinky, his beating unknowing heart in my throat, and his deepest desires in the back pocket of my too tight skinny jeans. No apologies, my way and shameful attitude, pushing him to the edge of no return. He doesn't want to leave, but I'm trying to make him, because if he stays, I'll only kill his Garfield smile, his eyes that are starry blue galaxies, his laugh that brings forth my jealousy, because I want to laugh like that. Uh-oh, wait a second, his eyes are getting wider, eyebrows standing like tall jagged mountaintops, caps of white disgust seeing right through my continual sharp manipulation, slowly unmasking the dirty game called I love you, that I love to win every time, except I don't think my game is working anymore. He's seen past my cries that I say are him but are really me. Tonight he can smell my burdens burning away, the girl he wanted to love so bad, walking away, distance growing, my heart slowing, he's leaving me. And I'm silently whispering all the things he deserves to hear. I am sorry for putting you through hell and making you think you weren't good enough. You are beautiful, baby. Please don't go. You're all I have. I know I'm horrible, but I love you. It's sick love, but it's love, and he can't hear me. He is gone. No goodbye. And I have no one but my own wicked self to blame for not admitting to my inexcusable cruelty to a boy I loved to hurt. He'll never hear my I'm sorry. He'll only remember me as the girl who drenched his stained white walls in misery, forcing him to punch holes. Holes that will always be a reminder that he was almost loved, but couldn't be, because I didn't know what love even was.
All right, that is Millard South, following up a strong performance from Bellevue West, with a strong performance of their own, looking to keep their lead. So we'll see how the scores come back, and then I'll have an unofficial score update. It's the end of round 3. So we'll have an unofficial score update shortly.
All right,
Here's
from
these
low
scores.
to high, we have a 9.1, a 9.3, a 9.4, a 9.5, and a 9.6. All right, that brings to a close the 3rd round, so let's go ahead and get ourselves super excited for the 4th round as we welcome to the stage a poet from City Impact.
So that actually scored the same as Bellevue West last home, a 28.2 for both Bellevue West and Millard South. So they keep their lead.
Can someone help me? Oh, I got it. Yeah, the struggle is real, you know? All right. Hi, my name is Drew. I'm in 8th grade, and I represent City Impact. And this piece is called Caterpillar. What am I doing? Why am I here? Society has set so many expectations, I've been struck with fear. I'm always wondering what people think of me. I mean, adults say they adore me, but for some reason, that's not good enough. Because they don't have minds like society. You see, at school, it's a different story. If you're too big or tall, or too short or small, too nerdy or geeky, or if you don't have the money, you will not be able to fit in. In fact, some people wouldn't mind you being non-existent. And because of that, you start to question your existence. As they step on my toes and won't notice me even though I'm right under their nose. But you know what? Once we're older, they'll see my smiling face on every corner because I'll be breaking free from the rules of society and I won't care what people think of me. I like being me because I'm actually happy being me. So from this day on, I'll be peeling back this mask and I will continue being me. And if anyone should ask, I'll explain to them that I've simply broken out of this cocoon and I am finally flying free.
All right, so that's a poet from City Impact with a strong poem. They're sitting currently in third place at the 79.2. And that's the opening poem of round 4. So we've got 3 more individual poems or maybe group poems. And then we'll get into the group round, which is all 4-person group poems. Here we go.
have an 8.6. What do you feel about a crowd? One person likes it. We have an 8.7, an 8.8, a very impartial crowd. You guys are not doing well. And our highest score, a 9.6. What's that? Yeah, so the scores were 8.6, 8.7, 8.8, 8.8, and a 9.6. All right, let's keep our hands together and welcome up the next poet coming to the stage, a student from Bellevue West.
That's a 26.3 for City Impact to close their individual poetry. Here's Bellevue West.
My name is Tasia Smith, and I'm a sophomore from Bellevue West.
I don't see nothing wrong.
These are weirdos. When I was 8, I went to a fire safety summer day camp. The firefighters taught us not to touch doorknobs with the palms of our hands if we thought there was a fire on the other side. So why did I ever touch you? All I wanted was to save you from yourself. I would beg you not to play with matches or lighters or me. You knew I was flammable. You knew I never learned how to use a fire extinguisher. You knew. But so did I. And I guess I was just mesmerized by the way you could burn anything with the flick of your wrist. I couldn't escape your smoke rings even if I tried because it burned so badly every time I moved. You were always so amused by my useless attempts to try and put you out for good, but you were too hot. You left cigarette burns on my skin, and I guess I didn't mind because if you didn't look too closely, they almost looked like halos. Almost. You knew I didn't care about your fits when you became magma fresh from a volcano, baby. You were Mount Vesuvius, and I am the city of Pompeii, smothered by your ashes, embracing myself as tightly as I could because I missed the way your smoke felt. I missed when you would shake with rage, and I was the only one able to calm you down. You knew that I would burn, and I knew that I would burn, and the fact that we both didn't care was what killed me. My skin is gone. Layers upon layers of epidermis that I built to withstand the worst of any typhoon is now obliterated because I wasn't ready for all of the elements. Your kisses were too quick and your hugs were too smothering. It's not that I forgot how to breathe. It's just that your inferno consumed all of the oxygen around me when I was 8. I went to a fire safety summer day camp. The firefighters taught us to test the doorknob with the back of our hands, to check to see if there was a fire on the other side. But I didn't think you were capable of burning.
All right, that is Bellevue West. Another strong showing from their poet. And let's see how that score comes back for them. A little bit of thematic flavor from our DJ with some doors, Light My Fire. That's pretty
Put it up
fun.
nice and high.
Here come the scores.
Okay, from low to high, we have a 9.0, a 9.0, a 9.0, and a 9.2. All right, it's always about this. Okay, that was 4 9.0s. I miscalculated by not saying the fourth one. My bad. All right, it's always about the fourth round where we start to get a little bit lackadaisical, so let's make sure that we're being nice and loud and supporting our poets. And welcome to the stage, your next poet from Millard South.
All right, so that's a 27 even for Bellevue West on that poem. And our final poet of the individual rounds comes from Millard South.
Hi. I'm Sarah Jensen with Millard South High School. And I'll be doing a piece called Dry Ice. His mouth tasted like a rotting fruit and his eyes were a cruel ice blue, burning holes into my untouched skin. He said I was beautiful, talented, bursting with potential, bursting like the zipper of his worn-out, grass-stained jeans. When he touched me, the only indication of my enjoyment were forced gasps of stale air and porn star moans I'd spent hours trying to perfectly imitate. His fingernails felt like razor blades against my breasts, and I was constantly praying to a God that wasn't there to prevent him from slicing through the layers of my chest and shoving his callous fingers into the open arteries of my heart, the way he forced them into the open space between my thighs. I'd lay and watch the clouds form star-crossed lovers in clown cars while holding back the waves of bile crashing against my chattering teeth. Because even though it was the middle of summer, I always felt a chill in his presence. I tried to lose myself in the whistling of the trees and the chirping of the crickets. I tried to convince myself that this was the best I could do, that his kisses held compassion, and my shaking hands yearned to caress his stainless steel skin. His stubble felt like sandpaper eroding away my dignity, and all I can muster in regards to genuine pleasure was the euphoria I felt while self-destructing. He was the knife to my skin, the pills to my lips, the salty tears dried to my cheeks. He was the last stick of dynamite needed to decimate my foundation and shake the remaining bricks and drywall to the ground. Over time, I found myself wanting him to take every last piece of me, so there'd be nothing left to shatter. Before my last shreds of dignity and innocence were lost, I realized his filth-encrusted hands didn't deserve to pull the trigger. My destruction was too intimate to let a boy unworthy of the ground a woman walked upon take part. I left him wanting in that field, knowing that he would need to find another pawn because his appetite for ruin was insatiable and his tango would always require an unknowing partner. There are shards of me that remain in his pockets. There are sections of my skin that will never thaw even amidst the fires of hell, and there are moments of violent shivering that will never subside. He was a block of dry ice, destroying everything in his path out of spite and apathy, his only justification being that it was somehow his duty as a man. I almost let him take it all. What little he took was too much.
All right. Strong writing from Millard South just now, and really throughout the bout. But yeah, crowd was silent for that one. Really connected with them, so that's what we're here for.
We
Writing like
have
that.
an 8.8, a 9.0, another 9.0, a 9.3, and a 9.5. All right, let's keep that applause going as we welcome our next poet, a student from Abe Lincoln.
Yeah, so that is a 27.3 for Millard South, and Abe Lincoln is up for the second to last 80 poem.
Hi, I'm Francisco Franco. I'm a senior at AL.
7 years ago.
And this piece is called Blind Love. I see her for the first time. It's June. We talk till the break of dawn. I ask her to a movie. We go out. It's July. Into this amazing relationship, I give her myself in the form of a ring. I kneel down, hot and nervous. I open the box, heart racing. She says yes. It's August. Into this relationship, I start to see. Her parents are unhappy with me. She becomes different from who I saw. Doubt starts to creep. It's October. Into this marriage, she takes control. She picked the house and everything else. I'm cracked but not broken. Doubt now stalks. It's November. We've argued. I sleep on the couch to get some space. I haven't heard her voice in days. Doubt has a friend called divorce come to stay. It's December. 7 months since we first met. 4 months since we married. Today, I carry papers to break that bond. I'm hot and nervous because I don't know how she'll react. I open the door, heart racing, but before I can say one word, she says we're having a child together. I'm overjoyed, yet so confused. I ask her when it's due. She says May. Doubt still stays.
All right, that is a strong bit of writing from Council Bluffs Thomas Jefferson to close out our first 4 rounds. And we'll get the scores back in just a little bit. And we'll take a break after this round, and I'll give you some official scores from the Bout managers. Here we go.
From low to high, we have an 8.6, an 8.7, another 8.7, an 8.9, and a 9. All right. How you feeling, audience? Feeling good? All right. That's what I like to hear.
So that is a 26.3 for Council Bluffs Abe Lincoln to close it up. Well, I'll give you the official scores in a little bit, but yeah, really good bout, really strong riding, really throughout the bout tonight. So that's just amazing to see the type of things that these students are so fearlessly addressing. So we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to get back in the chat room and on the mic with official scores. Yeah, we'll be back in a little bit with round 5, and that'll determine which of these teams will be joining us in semifinals and which of these teams will be, unfortunately, not. But just amazing riding from all 4 teams. Just fearless stuff happening all over the stage tonight. Just beautiful to see. So we'll be back in 5 or so minutes with the round 5, okay? See you in a little bit, folks.
Oh wait, I want my.
To a table somewhere. All right, folks, so we've got a score update. Official scores are Millard South leading with a 110.6. We have Bellevue West in second with a 109.1. We have City Impact in third with a 105.1. And then rounding up the bottom is Council Bluffs Abe Lincoln with a 103.7. So we'll be hearing from those in reverse order. So it'll be Council Bluffs Abe Lincoln, City Impact, Bellevue West, and then Millard South to close the bout in the group round. So I'm going to turn the mic back up. We're getting set up for round 5, and we'll get rolling here in a little bit.
Second to rightmost mic, a little bit farther away.
Third to rightmost mic up close.
Third to rightmost mic, a little bit farther away.
Fourth to rightmost mic up close.
Fourth to rightmost mic, up a little farther away.
And we'll get started in just a second.
Can I help you with things? Yeah, just Kenny mentioned that their team is going to take these things off the... So I'm just getting the tables as ready as I can.
Good man.
Good. All right.
Good man.
We have all 5 judges. If you are a judge, would you please raise your scorecard very quickly? Yes, we do have all 5 judges. Great. We have all 4 teams back.
We have Abe Lincoln. We have possibly, no, we don't have Millard South yet. Millard South is on route 2. We have City Impact. And their team, great. And do we know Bellevue West is AWOL? Okay. So while we're waiting for Bellevue West, a couple of quick announcements. Announcement number 1. It is possible, because of the way that UNO Parking Services works, that you might get a parking ticket. If this happens, and you get a parking ticket, don't worry. Instead, bring that parking ticket to Matt Mason. Matt Mason, would you wave so that everyone can see you? That's Matt Mason. That's all the way to Matt Mason. And then bring him our parking tickets a little bit later. This only works for UNO parking tickets. If like 3 months ago you got a parking ticket for like being downtown and an expired meter, no dice. But if you got one tonight, bring it to Matt Mason, and everything will be better. The other thing, you may have seen these little slips of paper. The Nebraska Writers Collective employs close to 35 people, all told, that the organization puts this on, and we serve, all told, almost 4,000 students every year, which is to say that those things don't happen for free. So please consider, if you've got a spare dollar, or if you're secretly a millionaire and you want to not be a millionaire, please consider it. But yeah, all right, we've got all 4 teams, great. Okay, so here's how things are going to go down. We're in the 5th round, which means that each team is going to come up and read to you a 4-person group piece. This is going to be sort of like what you saw before. Judges, you're going to do the exact same thing, 0 to 10, except there are going to be 4 people on stage instead of 1. It's going to be pretty excellent. I'm going to do a quick mic check, and then I'm going to tell you the order, and then we're going to get started. This is the leftmost mic up close. Leftmost mic a little bit farther away. Second mic up close. Second mic a little bit farther away. Third mic up close. Third mic a little bit farther away. Fourth mic up close. Fourth mic a little bit farther away. Are you ready to begin the 5th round? That show of enthusiasm is insufficient. Are you actually ready to begin the 5th round? We're going to hear from teams in this order. First up, Council Bluffs Abe Lincoln. Second up, City Impact. Third up, Bellevue West. And finishing up the 5th round with Millard South. Let's get ready to slam, start clapping, and keep clapping as we welcome to the stage, Council Bluffs Abe Lincoln.
All right, so here comes CB Abe Lincoln to open round 5, our final round of this bout. If you're tuning in to see the second bout, well, wait, because it doesn't start for half an hour.
No, I don't even need this.
Alright. Hi, I'm Andrea Milstead, and I'm a freshman.
I'm Francisco Franco. I'm a senior.
I'm A. Viola. I'm A. Viola, and I'm a freshman.
And I'm Alex Ford. I'm a sophomore, and we're from Abraham Lincoln High School. You who see through the shells of ignorance, see the truth among the lies. Change stress and make things clear.
I'm here, so please listen to what I have to say.
Going out. You see her for the first time.
Her body is nothing more than a piece of bone.
But I'm beautiful no matter what you see. Listen, listen, listen.
Who was once a good ant turned your life around.
You were cracked but not broken.
Dead ants falling from your face. Poison ivy rubbed into your skin.
You're beautiful without this cosmetic alchemy on your skin. Listen, please. Listen, please.
You have issues deciphering the messages that you find.
Watching it all slowly stumble down.
Doubt starts to creep.
Finally, you're opening your eyes and you're starting to see the truth. Listen to what I have to say. Listen, listen.
It soon dies down.
The aching disappears.
Don't expect perfection.
Reach for perfection.
It's a wish too complex.
Unrealistic.
Unaware and unconsciously stupid. Fierce winds pierce my ears.
And you realize
She isn't just a simple bone.
she is immensely more.
You see them as tool plants on the surface. Smell the aroma of lilies, tulips, and roses.
But you don't know.
Her mind was a mess.
Now it's clear.
Ice begins to melt.
Blurriness into focus.
Into something amazingly confusing.
I am the whole puzzle. Stop breaking apart my pieces. Or maybe just don't complain. I am sick of the constant destruction. You keep disconnecting my patterns so you can build on your own. You don't see the harm you have been causing, losing sight of what I give to you. Children know the purpose of life. Live. To live. Playing this game of who can create a better world.
For the children.
I made this world as best I could.
Perfect.
I want you to stop destroying yourself.
And start to live.
All right, that is Council Bluffs Abe Lincoln, brand new team in this tournament, their first year out. One of our two Abe Lincoln schools. One of our two Council Bluffs schools, pardon me. But that's why we're louder than about Great Plains and not louder than about Omaha, because we've got schools from Council Bluffs, Lincoln, we got schools from Norfolk. We got a lot of schools coming out. So here come the scores.
All right, from low to high, we have an 8.0. 8.8. Another 8.8. A third 8.8. And an 8.9. Applaud the poets, up the scores. And keep your applause going as we welcome our next group piece from City Impact.
All right, so that's a 26.4 for Council Bluffs Abe Lincoln to close out their bout. That's going to give them a total of 130.1. Cool. Here comes City Impact with their final group piece.
I'm Mara.
I'm Drew. I'm Faith.
I'm Kyla.
And we represent City Impact.
This piece is called What Do You Think?
Honestly,
when I think of what a guy looks for in a girl, I automatically picture the prettiest, most popular one in school. Long, blonde hair that's as bright as the sunset. Quite tall, but still shorter than the guys.
No more than a size 2 in their jeans.
One that's smart, but not smarter than them, so they at least have a chance of winning an argument.
Maybe.
What do you think?
Perfection is the key to success.
He wants you
long, thin,
and a little curvy.
With hair that falls down to the middle of
her
your back.
Eyes that sparkle like the 4th of July. Eyelashes longer than the days between now and summer.
He wants you tan like smooth creamy caramel. And he wants you smart.
But not too smart, so he can still show you off to his friends.
See guys, set expectations higher than the tippity top of the Space Needle.
Making us ladies feel even less and less.
What do you think?
Guys want us to be beautiful. It's what's on the outside that counts. I guess that's why it's hard for me to see other people dating, yet I'm the one I always end up hating. I'm not good enough for the guys. I don't have the looks, the personality, I'm not sporty enough. Whatever the reason, I'm
just
not good
enough. Their expectations are too high. I'll never reach them. I'm too short anyway. I can't be perfect for them, but everything in me screams, I need to be. I need to prove that I'm worthy. I guess it all boils down to, I really don't know what they want. Someone tell me what they want from us. What do you think? Who are you to tell me I'm not good enough?
Not pretty enough.
I'm not supposed to be tough. That I'm supposed to wait up in a tower, not supposed to frown, not to glower. You think I'm going to wait like some weak little girl. You think I'm weak, and I'll throw you for a whirl.
You think as a girl you can save me, marry me, and then have your kid?
Too bad. I ain't up for bed. I'm not going to sit on a pedestal like
the trophy wife.
So you can cram it and go get a life. I'm a strong, evil person
just like you.
I can play baseball and football, so you know what?
Forget you.
Forget you and your thoughts of me waiting in a tower I'm getting out of that tower by my own power. My power to vote and earn money and work instead of being with some insensitive jerk.
Yeah, I do smile and I do cry.
But put me in a category?
Ha! Don't even try.
What do you think?
All right, City Impact with a lot of energy in their group piece. Love to see that, especially from a first-year team. They've been showing up pretty well. So that was really fun to watch. See how the judges feel about it. How do you feel about it, chat room people?
From low to high, we have an 8.7, 9.0, 9.0, 9.2, and a 9.2. How did you feel about the poll? Then let us clap, and then let us keep clapping.
27.2 for City Impact to finish up their performance this fine day. And Bellevue West High School is sending up their group piece right now, trying to close that gap between them and Millard South. Let's see how it goes.
Free fire, girls!
Sorry.
I'm Brooklyn, Rachel,
Ray,
Tajorie,
and we are
Bellevue West.
I don't see nothing wrong.
Tic-tac-toe.
Give me an X.
Give me an O.
No, just give me more X's. I prefer a monstrosity, a mutation when faced with imperfection.
She'll wear rosy pink dresses. Her face will be an amusement park for boys featuring all the main attractions.
I want her to be funny. She'll be a walking contradiction. Look like porcelain, plastic, blank paper, anything but skin. Yet feel like silk.
If we want her to live up to the golden standard, we'll have to take drastic measures.
Before she could even paint her mother's shoulders with tears, her parents sealed her into 3 walls and a cellophane window where she would grow valuable with age.
Mommy, look!
Proper girls don't speak out of place.
Daddy, look!
Words aren't toys, those lips were expensive.
A blue-gray dress would mean no boy would love her because only cotton material dyed in magenta would mark her as a trophy.
Looks to die for.
Her pale face didn't blush enough for her grandparents, so they pinched her cheeks, expecting her complexion to redden, but they watched love run off on their fingers.
Just a bit of factory paint and varnish to seal the deal.
Mom, listen!
When she tried learning how to ride a bike, she fell and bloodied her calloused knees.
Dad, listen!
The only thing your knees should bruise from is cleaning the floor.
But tarnished skin makes for an obsolete product.
She was contoured to follow in small footsteps and walk through curving doors, speaking as soft as her hair, but they didn't measure her heavy heart. When the shelf could no longer bear her weight, they placed her onto a second-place podium.
A scale.
A pedestal.
Maybe. But lower numbers always seemed fitting. Less was more, so they tried snipping away to drain the blood.
Shut up! My bones have been hollowed by the eyes of my creators, their hands leaving fingerprints in the plaster, engraving their names on their work. Mother and father, mother and father. Drop your paintbrushes, mother and father. The shelf is so high, but maybe I can make it.
All right, that is Bellevue West with a strong group piece. A nice, strong metaphor. We've seen strong metaphors throughout the day. We've seen dry ice, we've seen volcanoes, lots of hot things, lots of cold things. I'm going to stop talking. Here come the scores.
Putting your scores up in 3, 2, 1. All right, from low to high, we have an 8.9, an 8.9, a 9.0, a 9.2, and a 9.2. Let us keep that applause going as we welcome our last group piece in the group round.
That's a
home from Millard South.
It's a 27.2 for 27.1, pardon me, for Bellevue West. Giving them a cumulative 132. No, that's entirely wrong. and 136.2 for their final score.
All right, my name is Courtney Newman.
I'm Shelby Nichols, Helen Winston.
And I'm Sarah Jensen. We're from Millard South High School. We'll be doing a poem called Two Queer Girls and an Ally. From the producers of 2.5 Men and fulfilling the diversity quota of the Fox Network, it's Two Queer Girls and an Ally, following the adventures of a butch lesbian in all of her short-haired breast-bound glory.
My pastimes include hanging out at Home Depot and plaid.
Your average miniskirt clad, red love slutty bisexual who swings
both ways.
And their ally friend.
I love gay people.
All rubbing elbows under one roof.
We fight over girls.
We fight over boys, all while operating within the boundaries of our labels.
Set your DVR to make sure you don't miss the bisexual's latest partner.
Hey, how did you get her number? She stopped by my room after she left yours. Oh, well, I have plenty of other options.
Watch as the adorable ally uses her culinary skills for the common good.
I spent the day baking rainbow cupcakes, rainbow cookies, rainbow cobbler, rainbow crepes, and rainbow baklava. All for you.
Take a sneak peek into a day in the life of America's favorite lesbian.
Would you heads stop clucking and toss me the keys to my truck? I'm late for softball practice.
Everyone will be talking about this commercially viable sitcom cram of stereotypes and characters the only way you can accept them.
But I am not a character. Being bisexual does not mean that I am promiscuous, as if I should be condemned for being either.
I'm not a character. Baked goods and enthusiasm are not the sole components of activism.
I am not a character. Team sports and owning a truck are not lesbian prerequisites. For the last 6 months, I've been in a committed relationship with the woman I love.
I've been working to further my education since my best friend came out to me in the 6th grade, and I thought it was a phase. I'm sorry, Katie.
When me and my girlfriend go out to dinner, she always pays, and I would happily listen to her talk for hours.
Creating sitcom characters that reduce human beings to cardboard cutouts enables society to openly mock differences and promote stereotypes.
It breeds ignorance and a freak show audience mentality.
And it teaches it is a punchline to be
An ignorant ally.
A promiscuous bisexual. A masculine presenting lesbian. Boardroom pitches.
Aimed at attracting a new audience.
As if who we love is a trend to be capitalized upon.
I do not read from a script.
I do not pause for a laugh track. I am not in a costume. We are not actors.
I understand my privilege and that to be an ally is more than t-shirts and human rights campaign wristbands.
I'm not curious. I'm not confused. I love who I love regardless of gender. I dress the way I dress and cut my hair to feel comfortable, not to fit into a societal role.
This is who we are.
So tune in, America.
We are not characters.
All right, those are the poets from Millard South to close the bout. Big reaction from the audience. And let's see how those scores come back for them.
Rhoda High, it is 9.1, 9.1, 9.3, 9.6, and 9.6. How did you feel about the power? While Matt Ministry is doing that, we got to get all of the competing poets in this bout up on stage, please.
All right, so that's going to give Millard South a 138.6. That'll be enough to secure the win for them. The 28.6. So yeah, they'll be moving on to semifinals. We'll see about Bellevue West. That might come down to tiebreakers with second place finishes. That might not get determined until Wednesday night. But we've got all the teams up. They've all done amazing work. Who cares about the scores, honestly? Let's hear the team announcement coming right up.
All right. Because this is a competition, and because we actually have to do something with the numbers instead of just asking for them, we have some results. So let us, my thoughts too. Let us start clapping then. For our team in 4th place, Council Bluffs Abe Lincoln, our first-year team. And then let us keep clapping for our 3rd place team today, City Impact, also a first-year team. In 2nd place, Bellevue West High School. The winner of your bout tonight is Millard South High School. Give a round of applause for the poets. If you are a judge, please give your scorecards to Matt Mason. If you are a coach, please give your clipboards to me. If you're a poet, Please give each other high fives. Put on a great show. We'll be back here in just a few minutes.
All right, so Millard South takes the win. Bellevue West with the second place spot. And then we have City Impact in third and Council Bluffs Abe Lincoln in fourth. City Impact and Bellevue and Council Bluffs Abe Lincoln, both first-year teams, as Andrew mentioned. So it's really nice to see them showing up and doing so well with their poetry. Millard South now has a locked-in spot in semifinals. And we'll see about Bellevue West. They might be in the tiebreakers with other teams that have scored 2 second-place finishes. We'll see how the final ranks work out after this week's bouts are finished. So thank you so much for tuning in. You can donate to support this work at ltabomaha.org or ltabgreatplains.org. There's just a lot of opportunities to support this. We're doing a big fundraising push here at the end of things as we try and cover our budget and make sure that this work is sustainable for next year. And our finals are in the Holland Center. So we've got another live stream coming up right now at 7:30. I'm going to actually get a break. But we'll have another live stream coming up very shortly that you can tune into. That will feature Omaha North, Omaha Northwest, Lincoln Southeast, and Lincoln East. That's an easy batch of schools to remember. So Omaha Northwest coming off a win. They're going to be looking to secure their semifinal spot. And the other teams are all in the mix to spoil it and to do their own best. So thank you all for tuning in. Thanks for enjoying the poetry alongside me. I know I'm going to go high-five some poets for some of their amazing work. And if you were moved by any of the stuff you saw here, please work to support it either by volunteering or donating or whatever. We love anything you can give us. So I'm going to shut down the live stream. And thanks a lot for tuning in. And we'll be back at 7:30 with a brand new live stream for a brand new bout. Talk to you then.